There's a lot of really good quality content on the internet right now that's free to view. My suggestion would be to completely just get rid of your cable if you have it and just use the internet. YouTube, free. It's technically not free. I mean, you're paying for an internet access, but still, I mean, to compare the value in the internet compared to a cable subscription to television, I mean, it's night and day. There are so many documentaries on YouTube for free, all over Google videos. There's so much stuff, so much information. You can use the internet to your advantage, or you can use it to your disadvantage. So the only thing I use the TV for is to watch YouTube through it, and to watch things occasionally, documentaries on the TV, you name it, through the internet. But I don't see any value in a television here in 2017. I don't. So anyways, I didn't want to rant about TV. I wanted to just briefly talk about how much good quality content there is, how much in one day, how much information you can stuff inside your head and in your heart through watching documentaries, watching lectures, watching stuff on different forms of filtered water, learning about the Gerson therapies, learning about all these different herbal protocols, learning about natural medicine, ladies and gentlemen. Every day is like a mini eternity. It's amazing what you can do in one day with your health. It's amazing what you can learn in one day if you put a little time and effort into it. So the journey of 1,000 miles starts with one step, and it's not difficult to get yourself some herbs or learn some stuff about herbalism, or just, you know, learning about attempting to heal yourself and all this other stuff. It's really fascinating. It really is a very interesting thing to study. Health is really, really interesting. We exist in a world where many of the plants, the trees, the barks, the nuts, the algae, the flowers, they all contain powerful constituents that have been proven to affect our health in a salubrious way. We are living in a garden where the things growing in the garden, many of them are medicinal, can help us as humans grow. This is an interactive living garden, a living library of information. When we consume these different natural constituents, we actually download the information within them, and they affect our genes, they affect our cells, they affect our health. There's a herb for everything. There's herbs for the lungs, there's herbs for the brain, there's herbs for the heart, there's herbs for the bones, there's herbs for the eyes like eyebright, there's herbs for the liver like milk thistle, artichoke. There's herbs for the mind. There's herbs, there's oneirogenic herbs. There's herbs with oneirogenic properties to help induce vivid prophetic dreams and lucidity within the dream context. Dream herbalism is a very fascinating subject. You don't see it being talked about much here on YouTube or even in books, you name it, but it is a very profound, very interesting study. Not only to study, but to practice. Herbs like Calea zacatichichi, the African dream bean, mugwort, guayasa, blue lily, the zosa root. You guys can hear the bugs right now, I'm sure. Excuse me. But I mean, right now even, I mean, there's trees, there's barks, there's medicines growing around here. There's plantain. It's really interesting to study how complicated just a simple piece of grass is. It looks so simple, but to look at what's going on in just one blade of grass, the miracle of life can be found in one little blade of grass. Just how complicated and complex and intricate the creation pattern is that spirit uses to weave itself into physical matter, into physicality. The animation between spirit and matter is very interesting. And to see how things grow, to see how just the miracle of watching a seed germinate and shoot its little tail down into the soil. It appears so simple to the eyes, but if we were to examine the things, the processes going on within something within something that seems as simple as germination is so much more complicated than it looks. But we really have lost our connection to nature. Most of us don't appreciate nature to the degree that we were designed to, that we should. This is a beautiful, beautiful world. I see it being terraformed day in and day out by the Matrix. People can think it's a joke. People can think that I'm overthinking. I think you underthink, to be honest. It's like our home is being invaded by toxicity and evil. You wouldn't let that happen in your own home. So why don't you care about the home that your home exists in, the earth, this dimension? Got all sorts of crazy shit going on right now. Spiritually within this dimension, physically, environmentally. The atmosphere is being terraformed. It already has been terraformed, let's put it that way. It's been terraformed magnificently. And I don't mean magnificently in a good way. I mean, the job's been done well. And we've participated in it with all the internal combustion vehicles, the brake dust, the high altitude aerosol spraying programs. These are very real. It would take a fool to think that the environmental stuff that we pollute the atmosphere with doesn't affect our health. Where do you think it just disappears? You just think it goes away? No, we're breathing this shit, ladies and gentlemen. What's really eerie is once you're swimming around in it, you can't really see it. You get into an airplane and fly above LA and look down at Los Angeles, it's disgusting. But once you get down onto the ground and start walking around the cities, you really can't see all of that junk that you were just able to see from afar. We're living in it, we're swimming in it, we're breathing it. So that's why I try to recommend initiating your journey with health with clean water and herbs. Those two alone, in my opinion, can help you so massively in such a toxic world. Herbs like lobelia and things like that to expectorate garbage from the upper lungs. We've collected residues in our lungs by default from breathing in this world. What's wrong with going about trying to eliminate these environmental toxicities that have lodged themselves within our tissues by default? Doesn't even matter if you smoke. You have stuff in your lungs. The connection to the with the lungs to the brain stem, the temple of the brain, and how the lungs are so intimately connected with the brain and the heart. Everything works together in unison. This biological walking machine, this divine tool. We are like a walking biological water fountain. This machine is constantly recirculating fluids throughout it, pumping blood. So look at how complicated a single cell is under a microscope, and then to think that you're comprised of hundreds of thousands, millions of cells. It blows my mind just to think about it. I can get so philosophically obsessed with just isolating certain parts of the biology, the physiology, and thinking about them that it can hinder my ability to get shit done. That's how amazing the temple is that we live in our body. It humbles me. To think that I'm allowed to have this opportunity to exist in this biological flesh suit and to do my best to get my job done well here on earth, to try to inspire people, to try to defend that which I hold dear in my heart, innocence, the animal kingdom, the plant kingdom. Every day is a blessing because there's something to fight for. But I think many people don't have something to fight for, and I think that leads to a lot of depression, or a lot of, I think people who are bored in life don't have anything to fight for. They're just going through the motions. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I can only try to tell you how I feel from my subjective experience. I know that years ago when I wasn't interested in all this stuff, I know that when I was in my late teens, and even my early 20s, I was overweight, felt sick, didn't have anything to fight for. I wasn't really truly interested in anything. I didn't have any hobbies that fully satiated and satisfied every part of myself. Health does that. Health stimulates my emotional self, my creative self, my intuitive self, my physical self, spiritual self. It's engaging, studying all these herbs, researching all the different compounds within herbs which make them healthy. Things are so complicated, and like I said earlier, the doctrine of signatures, I believe it's called, is really interesting. You guys should study that. The doctrine of signatures is basically a nature, according to the doctrine of signatures, creates herbs and things like that to resemble certain body parts that they affect. So a gotu kola leaf actually looks like the two hemispheres of the brain. Gotu kola has been known, it's a Brahmi, it means to elevate consciousness, but it works on the brain, it works on the cerebral spinal system. Celery is good for the bones, it looks like bones. If you cut a carrot in half, it appears to have an iris, it looks like an eyeball. Carrots are high in constituents, at least organic carrots grown in quality soil that hasn't been bastardized. They're good for your eyeballs. A kidney bean looks like a kidney. They're good for your kidneys. Imagine that. A walnut. Walnuts are good for your brain, the fats in them. Open up a walnut. It looks like a brain with all the fissures and all the different striations. Very interesting stuff. I'm going to wrap this one up. On behalf of the Sacred Starseed Serpent Uraeus YouTube channel, thank you for watching this video. I hope that my videos, my channel, my messages, you name it, can help inspire you to do something beneficial for your health today. Peace out. Are you guys interested in the Sacred Serpent YouTube channel? Do you want more bonus content that you will never find here publicly? If so, go over to www.patreon.com/Sacred Serpent and check out my Patreon page. For $5 a month, you get anywhere from 2 to 6 hours or more of bonus video content that you will never find here on the public YouTube channel. You will also gain access to a community section where you can ask me questions and receive prompt replies. You can talk amongst other patrons. And I'm also doing a lot of posting in regards to what I'm eating. I'm posting recipes, exercises, all sorts of stuff. So it's a really fun outlet. And again, if you guys are interested in my channel and you do indeed want more content, donkey, go over again to www.patreon.com/Sacred Serpent. Peace be with you.